I didn't say that.
Well, no, but I'm paraphrasing. But what about, you said, how are you going to monitor if they are considered using their Sharia law for terrorist activity? Like, are you going into mosque and find out if they're sending money to a terrorist group, or what? Where does the state of Tennessee stand on that? And my second question is, how is that going to apply in the courtrooms? Are they going to be able to bring Sharia law into the state of Tennessee, the courtrooms, and use their Sharia law to make a point?
The answer to the last part of your last question is no. Tennessee is not recognizing Sharia law, or no courts are recognizing Sharia law, and I know that has been an issue. The part of the reason that sort of the bill was changed at some point had to do with we did not want people to think that necessarily we were trying to attack Muslims. Okay, that was not the purpose of the law. It's anybody who would give material support, excuse me, to terrorists. So we didn't want to appear that we're trying to attack Muslims. I mean, there's good Muslims like there's good Mormons, there's good Christians, there's good Buddhists. I don't think that all Muslims are bad. Okay, it's just there's some Muslims that are definitely bad. Okay. Well, I can't really say I know a whole lot. I went to several different things that we had this last year on Sharia law, but I wouldn't feel comfortable speaking on Sharia law. I don't know. I'm not familiar with it. I don't know if Frank has more say on that or not. I mean, no.
I might make a statement, but Sharia law does not mix with the United States Constitution.
Right. Yes, I think you're correct. Yeah.
And Islam is not a religion, although we recognize it as. It's a political system that is at war with the United States Constitution. And I know this puts you and other representatives, but we have to listen to the music and see what's going on. These people want to annihilate us, and like I said, I want to believe that not all Muslims are like that, but there's a hierarchy. Step up in there. And the peaceful Muslims are down here, but the jihad terrorists are up here, and if it comes down the line that they're planning an attack, then the most peaceful Muslim must fight. And the jihadists, And here we are, like I said, you're not, but anyway, endorsing Sharia law when it's in direct conflict with the United States Constitution, and we should not for 1 minute tolerate it. I'm sorry, I got it off my soapbox.
Now, when you were talking about a constitutional amendment,
Yes.
you weren't talking about having a constitutional convention.
No.
Thank you.
He was asking if I was talking about a Constitution convention, and no, I don't know if anybody is really is looking for that kind of direction. I think they're just looking at passing a bill to change the Constitution.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
What's happening with healthcare,
Yeah, state of Tennessee and Obamacare.
some of the states are already saying that they don't want full compliance. How is Tennessee reacting to the requirements of Obamacare?
Well, I'll tell you what I know, and then Frank can tell you what he knows. As you know, when the lawsuits against Obamacare initiated, and some of the states initiated lawsuits, we asked that our state join in that, and our Attorney General refused to do so. The Attorney General is appointed by the Supreme Court, and so we were limited in what we were able to do as far as joining that. Now, we did talk about hiring an attorney, the House hiring an attorney and doing that, but nothing was put forward on that time.
Some of the states are going around with
Yeah.
Brother Don, what's your stand? I don't want to put you on the spot. On the 10th Amendment to the Constitution about states' rights. The power of the federal government is limited, or given the power designated to it by the states. In other words, the federal government is not supposed to exceed the power that the state's constitutions grant it, but it seems like there's all this federal stuff that's being forced upon the American people, where we're in Tennessee, or Kentucky, or wherever we're from.
Well, the Supreme Court has really made a lot of rulings in favor of the federal government over states' rights. And the states have, I think, over time, have lost more and more the authority. And I think for our particular political system right now, much of the power resides in the federal government. It's one thing, where the money is where the power is. And when they collect the taxes and then send us money, they tell us what to do with it, or they put conditions on that. And that, as far as I know, that has not been challenged or not been successfully challenged. But once they can tell us what to do with the money, that gives them a whole lot more power. I will say, on the 4th of July, I spoke at my church, and I was reading, again, the Declaration of Independence. And one of the things that, really the only check that we have on our federal government is the clause in the Declaration of Independence, or the introduction, that talks about why they declared independence from Britain. When the government no longer represents the needs and the will and the people, then at times it becomes necessary to separate ourselves from those powers and to create new forms of government. And that's really the only check that we have against the overreaching power of federal government. I hope that we never come to that point, but the federal government needs to know that's there, that option's there for us.
Yeah, one final statement. They are forgetting that our government was founded upon the principle of a government of the people, by the people, for the people. And what the government is doing now, and has been doing 34 years, is that it's a government for the people, period. Endowments and all that stuff like that. But actually the people should have a say-so, and I'm sure that you agree with that. But time for people to wake up and smell the roses.
I just have one last question. I want to go back to the question about Obozocare.
Obozo?
If the Attorney General is appointed by the Supreme Court, how do we go? This gentleman mentioned that some states have gone around their Attorney Generals. How do we go around our Attorney General, or who can put us in contact with?
Frank, did you hear the question?
No, I didn't.
How do we go around the Attorney General in Tennessee if we wanted to join the lawsuit?
We can hire our lawyers, the legislature can hire lawyers for that. We're the only state in the union where as Don mentioned, we're the only state in the union that has an attorney general appointed by the Supreme Court.
Well, there's a suit already. There's at least 20 states that have signed up to join that lawsuit, not to file our own.
Well, we could I don't know why we couldn't join that. The attorney general's opinion is just an opinion.
Yeah, right.
That's just an opinion. If we had the will to do it, we could do it.
So the House could just
Yeah,
appoint
the
an
attorney
attorney.
doesn't want to do
We have plenty of attorneys. I know.
it. He doesn't want to do it either. No, he don't.
So what do we do to go?
You're doing good, Don. Keep it up.
Thanks, Frank.
Yep. Kind of like the question that Tom had. There was a bill that was supposed to come up for a vote to recognize the sovereignty of the state of Tennessee for the 10th Amendment. Has that been voted on yet, or do you know when it's going to be voted on?
Frank, I don't know the answer to that question either. The 10th Amendment, going back to the 10th Amendment, there was a bill that had to do with Tennessee, sort of a resolution, I think, to
The sovereignty of the state.
sovereignty of the state.
For the 10th Amendment, there was going to be a vote on it, and
In Nashville,
yes.
what bill was it?
I don't know.
You know a little bit more about it.
I remember seeing it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't